a movie scene that we're going to create together. So first, it is the beach. Okay, let's hear the sound. It's the night sky, a la playa. And everyone shake hands with the person next to you. Because now we are creating a circle of friends and we're starting the fire together. Now the storytelling can begin. When I was a young girl, I was born in Los Angeles in the 80s. Times were good for our country. Dreams were everywhere. And as we go through life, the school of life, this little girl thought she had the world as her oyster. But as life continued, I started seeing what the media was telling me my reality is. I started witnessing violence. I started witnessing things that a young child of pure imagination should not be seen. But because it was on our televisions, because it was on our movies, it was okay. So I decided that I wanted to go into college to practice law because I wanted to create justice somehow. But as life continues, I go into college to start finding out I have more limitations being put upon me. My mother and father, they only graduated high school. My mother did not work, she stood home, and my father worked 2 jobs. They could not pay for my college. So now I understood. I can't go to any college I want because I don't have any money. So now you're presented with even more limitations. I have to work 40 hours a week to create, to go to school, to create a reality that I am starting to understand. So when I get to college, I'm a pre-law major, and we take elective classes. Well, I took one elective class for acting. Now, I thought, oh, this is going to be a fun, easy class. You know, it's art. It's not a big deal. Well, as I was going through the playbooks they gave me, I started seeing that there was no role I could play. And I thought, wait a minute. What do you mean there's no roles I can play? Well, I don't look like a Cinderella, and I am not as, the idea of Juliet. So that affected me. Not only did I have to go through life as this little girl, trying to navigate through all the media and violence to have this beautiful image of a world that exists in my head, now as an adult, I cannot be creative because they're saying you could only be these roles. That's when I knew this is how I'm going to create justice. I need to be a writer. I need to create new roles for people that look like me, that act like me, that have not been done before. I want to be the lead in a romantic comedy. I want to be in an action film where I'm not stripping my clothes off or being a slave. That's when the fire began. Now, everyone will have this moment in their life when you see injustice. But we all want to walk the line of success, what someone has done before us. So to try something new, hey, I'm not going to be successful. But that's when you have to take a risk. So as I observed and I went through film school, now even more limitations were put upon me. You're a woman director? Wait a minute, you need to be the actress. Oh, you don't know anyone in Hollywood? You're never going to make your movies. So now, I worked like I worked on sets. I started observing how everything worked. I started seeing all of the miscommunication, the money that was being spent that was not necessary. And I realized now I have to become a producer. So as I continue, the only thing that is now limiting me is money. Well, I thought, how can I create my films with no money? And hello, it was all around me. I had my own studio in my community. Who needs to rent $1 million set on a studio lot when you have your houses of your neighborhood? When you know someone whose cousin knows someone that owns a barber shop, guess what? You can now create a scene in a barber shop for free. I started recognizing the connections of using the internet, social media, and new media to help people in the community. If they have a small business and no one knows who they are, guess what? I have knowledge of media. I can create a small commercial for you in exchange to help me move along with my bills. So it started working. There was a new communal exchange that we've done as our ancestors did before, but we forgot. So now, I make my first short film. I'm very excited. Everyone's all, oh my goodness, you spent no money. How did you do this? The quality is amazing. And I said, I help my neighbors. And they help me in return. This concept is not new at all. But I walked a different line. I chose to look outside of the box. But what we'll soon discover is there is no box. So, at this moment, life is getting better. I'm getting excited. I feel as if I'm a director. I have my first short film. It's in 3 international film festivals. But then, something new stopped my world. I have a daughter. She's now 7, but at the time she was 3 years old. And my film was an urban drama. It had profanity. It had arguments. It was not suitable for children. And my daughter runs up to me like that little girl did. It said, Mommy, can I watch your film? And then my heart broke. Now I was participating in the cycle that little girl had to witness with her television. I, as the creator, was not walking a different line. I was walking the same pattern. And now my own daughter couldn't see my work. At that moment, that fire grew. It was getting stronger. And I knew for my daughter, I had to make the change. At that moment is when I discovered my seed of truth. Now, what I mean by seed of truth is that I know this is what I'm meant to do. No matter what anyone tells me, no matter what media tells me, no matter what educated or film schools or anyone that's above me says, oh, you can't do that because you are a woman or you are Mexican or you are a Latina. I am letting go of all the labels and I'm being a human being who is taking responsibility for the next generation. And that is why you are all here today. You see, as I was asked to present this TED Talk, it was because I took into my own hands that I was going to create a web series. I was going to utilize new media even further. Now, I created 7 episodes, which is equivalent to a feature film. We shot it for less than $1,000. And we were invited to screen at Paramount Studios. Now, the people I worked with, I went and spoke at schools as well because I really believe that once you have figured out a path, you need to share it. There is no more secrets. We have come together in order to help each other rise up. All of us, not just one or two or three people. If we don't rise together, then the future is looking even bleaker than we think at this moment. So, as I created this web series, I realized that this series was for the younger generations. They now have a new formula to create. The old structures of the past are no longer serving them. And that's when I saw this beautiful little plant growing. I thought this was the perfect metaphor for my seeds, for who I am. Now, I walked outside and I witnessed a tomato plant. I'm not a gardener at all. It came from the sky, landed between the brick wall and the cement wall, and it started growing. How did it grow? I didn't water it. Okay, it's gonna die. I give it a week. There must have been a little storm that came in that fed it. But I watched it, and I realized it was resilient. Why? Because it used the resources from my neighbor's yard. It grew the roots so deep, it could soak in the water from there when it had none. Well, if it was human, it would have all the words saying, it's impossible to grow there. No, 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 no. You're going to die. You have no growth space. You need fertilizer. You need all of these extra seeds and ideas that people plant in our heads every day. But this plant has no human words. It has no dialogue to create limitation. So I thought, oh my God, I am this tomato plant. I am resilient. And all of you are as well. This is that moment. This is the moment when you recognize that your reality is someone else's story. And you say no more. You, at this moment, have intercepted your reality because you are here. So use the internet. Use new media. Start helping each other, collaborating from other countries. This is now a global community. Everything is accessible online. And you don't have to just be a filmmaker. You could be a small business owner with a product. If you want to start learning how to raise tilapia in the farm fields, you now have access to download that and figure out the connections. The world is changing, and we have to see each other now as a global community. So, with that idea, I really want you to understand that you are living in your own movie right now. You are the lead characters in your own movie. Do you know how your ending is going to be? Who is ready for change? Who is ready to stand with their friends and network to help each other? We are already creating a new movie right at this moment. So, as a good movie, we need a soundtrack. So let's create a vibration so we can really impact this moment. So let's start rumbling our feet. We're getting stronger together. Come on. This is the energy that you need to leave today with. I don't want you walking. I want you running. That is what my show is called, Off and Running. Did I intend to have this message behind it? Absolutely not. But as you go through life, as you start walking with your seed of truth, everything falls into place. You align with the right people that you're supposed to know. Right now could be the leader of the Dominican Republic sitting here. But we don't know. Until you find that fire, and say, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to figure out who I need to connect with in order to do it. There is no more perceived limitations. That is someone else's story. So I welcome you to live your own story.